Okay, welcome to the stream, everybody. We have another big day on our hands here. It is the day of the South Carolina Democratic primary, the third primary. We've had Iowa, we've had New Hampshire, we've had the Nevada caucus, and then today we have South Carolina. Results starting to expected roughly around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is a little over 2 hours from now. We have a lot of things to look at and discuss. Bernie Sanders is in a live rally right now in Springfield, Virginia, which we have on screen for you as we speak. We are starting to have a number of different exit polls come in and different things going on, which we are going to look at. I'm actually, hopefully you guys can help me. I'm having trouble finding the exit polls so that we can look at them. I see CNN. I was just checking out CNN 10 minutes ago. They were starting to talk about those exit polls. I would love to find them myself. I was just on the CNN website and I'm not seeing them. Let me give it the old refresh and take a look. I hope to hear from you during this live stream. We also are going to look at the polling going in. Yeah, I'm just not seeing the exit polls, which I would really love to see right now. I think live updates will just take me to live CNN, which we do not necessarily want. Guardian exit polls. Oh, let's see. Guardian South Carolina exit polls. Let's see if we can find that, because I would love to check that out. South Carolina Democrats. Let's see here. Biden confident of beating Bernie, 54 delegates in play. Voting is underway. Recent polling. Do we have exit polls? Yeah, if somebody can send them to me either via super chat or in some other way, maybe if I look at the US News main page on The Guardian and see what we can find. Boy, all sorts of stuff popping. The Guardian website is almost completely unusable, incredibly. We've got opinion stuff. Yeah, I would love to find those. So if somebody can let me know exactly how to fund them, that would be really great. The expectation based on the polling, which I want to look at right now with you, Joe Biden with a very big recent spike in South Carolina. Almost everything has gone wrong for Joe Biden recently, but actually spiking in South Carolina, along with Bernie Sanders, to the detriment of Tom Steyer. The gray line here was Steyer, who had paid his way all the way up into second place. And then it has just been downhill. We've seen Biden pick up hugely, Sanders pick up, Buttigieg pick up, and Klobuchar a little bit, Elizabeth Warren down. And ultimately, we may only have two candidates pulling delegates out of South Carolina. This is real. This is do or die in different ways for Joe Biden and for Tom Steyer. For Tom Steyer, he put all of his eggs into the South Carolina basket. And he was at one point polling 18%, as you can see here, almost 19%. And if Tom Steyer were to get some delegates today, he would be able to at least justify staying in until and through Super Tuesday, and then he would probably have to get out at that point. If Steyer doesn't get any delegates today, my guess is he's out tonight, and that's it. And I wouldn't be shocked. He seems to be a big fan of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, of course, less into Steyer. Yeah, good. Okay, as you all know. And so I would expect Steyer to endorse Bernie and Bernie to welcome it, but then move on to something else. If Joe Biden were to not win tonight, I think Joe Biden must win tonight. If Joe Biden doesn't win tonight, he has won 0 of the first 4 states. He ends up in an Elizabeth Warren-like situation. And depending on what happens Tuesday, I don't think he gets out before Tuesday, but depending on what happens Tuesday, his path may start to slow down. My guess is, and I was on Rising with Crystal Ball and Cigar and Jetty on Thursday, my guess is that Biden wins by more than 5 or 6 points. I think Biden really kills it today. The Sanders campaign has already called it a, quote, uphill battle in South Carolina. I expect that Biden is going to do really, really well tonight. And then it will be onward to South Carolina, to Super Tuesday, rather. The delegate counts as of right now, as you can see here. See if we can. Oh, no, I see. OK, well, really, the numbers that matter are here. Bernie Sanders with 45 delegates, Pete Buttigieg with 26, Joe Biden with 15, Warren with 8, Klobuchar with 7. Now, here's what's important to understand. South Carolina is 54 delegates, as you can see here. Let's pull up a calculator. Why don't we? And then this I think will be instructive in many ways for many of us. Let's see if I can grab a calculator. Here we go. Okay, so here's what's important to understand. As you can see, you can get more delegates than your share of the vote because there's this 15% viability threshold. So to simplify the numbers, Biden right now is polling 39.7, right? So if you take Biden's 39.7 and multiply it by the 54 delegates, that would suggest Biden would be roughly getting 21 delegates today if he performs in proportion with his 39.7. But what you have to understand is with that 15% viability threshold, it may only be Biden and Sanders who get any delegates. So if you combine Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders' percentage, that's 64%, Joe might end up actually having 62% of the viable vote, which would give him in turn 33 delegates, roughly. This is rough math. We're doing state level math for what is actually calculated at the district level, but we have to do it that way. Otherwise, it gets too complicated. So Biden could actually come away with as many as 33 delegates today, which would put him at 48. Extraordinarily unlikely that even if Biden does very well, that he would overtake Bernie Sanders because Bernie will also grab some delegates. But going into Super Tuesday, this may be a Biden-Bernie leading situation. Pete Buttigieg may end up with 0 delegates. Again, Buttigieg polling 11, he could pick up a couple of delegates depending on whether at the district level he does okay. But you could see Buttigieg get 0 delegates and see basically what would be a close race between Biden and Bernie. But it's all momentum at this point because of this number right here, 1,991 delegates needed. If Bernie's up 10 delegates or 5 delegates or 15 delegates going into Super Tuesday is really the day where we will either see paths open to more candidates dividing up the delegates, or we will see paths narrow. And maybe we may end Super Tuesday with 2 likely scenarios. One, Bernie gets the most, gets 50% plus 1, or no one gets 50% plus 1. Unless you see a big surprising performance on Super Tuesday, it's unlikely that any other candidate will have a path to 50% plus 1, although we may see a likely scenario where nobody gets to 50% plus 1. And in fact, let's pull up the 538 numbers on that because these are interesting. And as you can see here, as you can't, well, you sort of can see, what you see here is that right now, as of right now, and I believe that this is because of the Super Tuesday numbers, which we'll look at momentarily. Right now, the most likely scenario at 52% is this black line, which means no one gets the delegates they need. Bernie at 32% gets the delegates he needs. Biden climbing a little bit, it's that purple line, but now it is a majority likelihood that no one gets the 1991 pledged delegates. And this is sort of what I've been suggesting from the beginning. People saying, oh, this is David being a centrist. No, this is David looking at the data. Okay. You guys know I'm voting for Bernie. Okay. I'm telling it to you as it is, not as we might like it to be. And the math is increasingly that no one gets 50% plus 1 in advance of the convention. It's data. It's data, Dave, as people are saying. I'm just giving you the facts. If people don't like facts, if you don't like facts, there are plenty of other streams you could be looking at right now. So in a second, I want to get to the Super Tuesday polling and start to look at that. And again, if folks have any way for me to get the exit polls, I would love to pull up the exit polls. Let me know, and I will. I want to pull those up and take a look at them. All right, let me start to thank people and mention different things that we have going on. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Justin Jones. Justin Jones just grabbed a membership at joinpacman.com and is new member number 1 out of 50. 1 out of 50, as you can see there. We have a goal of 50. The coupon code 2020NOW will save you 66% off of a membership at joinpacman.com. I welcome you to go ahead and grab a membership. I want to say thank you to Shaners on Twitch for gifting a subscription. Shaners now is in the 6th position of all-time top sub gifters. That's a mouthful. I may indeed be hanging out with Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II here in Boston tomorrow. He is in town, and we've been texting. I may be seeing him tomorrow. I may be seeing Hassan Kenneth Destiny Piker II tomorrow as well. And if I do, I will of course have updates for all of you. Let's get to some of the super chats that are coming in. Waffles Giraffles asks, is 1 million subscriptions around the general election in the ballpark for your channel? Maybe. We are trying to get to 1 million YouTube subscriptions by election day. We're at 810,000. So we have 109. Let's see what the math looks like. We have 190,000 subscribers to go between now and about 8 months. So that means we need to gain 24,000 subscribers a month in order to hit 1 million by election day. It's possible, but it's what we would call a stretch goal. That's for sure. Scrawly TV says, hello from North Charleston, South Carolina. My girlfriend says your headshot is very attractive, but it also looks like a memorial picture, which saddens her. Oh, yeah, I posted to my Instagram a couple of days ago. I got some professional headshots taken, and I posted one that's pretty wacky. And I'm kind of kidding. It's not really going to be my new professional headshot, but check it out. A lot of people are furious. Comments include defying gravity, bedhead, what's going on up there? The Trump era has taken its toll on David. It's a modern day mullet. Your options for job opportunities will be extremely limited if you use that headshot. So you can check it out. I have no way of really putting it up on screen, but I'm David.Pacman on Instagram, and you can check it out there. Wes says, burn, baby, burn. Jess says, thanks for all you do, David. Mike Leitner says, this will be Biden's first state win in 3 tries at running for president. That may indeed be the case. Jimmy Bignut says, on Trumpist streams, do you think they make fun of people who don't use caps lock and do use spell checker? It may be. That may be. I'm not usually on Trump streams. Andrew Bayham says, every candidate is visiting Utah here next week. Could they be trying to capitalize from the Mitt Romney vote? Salt Lake County is very blue lately. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what. Let's take a look at the Utah polling, if we can, over on Real Clear Politics. Utah Democratic primary. We have a new poll. Bernie 28, Bloomberg 19, Mini 19, Warren 15, Buttigieg 18. Wow, okay. Biden 6, Klobuchar 4. So Bernie looking pretty solid right now in Utah. Interesting. That's interesting. I will look into that more. Thomas Mooney says CNN 55% black, 41% white, 3% Hispanic, 1% other. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Okay. Anybody know how I can find the exit polls? Any exit polls that I would be able to find? Let's see. Somebody told me that The Guardian had exit polls available. Let's see if we can find those. Guardian. Oh, Guardian is here. News, U.S. politics. Let's take a look at that. South Carolina primary results. I'm not seeing the exit polls on The Guardian. Campaign. Obviously, we don't have actual results yet, but I am not seeing that. Let me see if I can find the CNN exit poll reporting. Politics. See what we've got. South Carolina primary, who is winning? Delegate leaders. Yeah, I'm just not finding the exit polls. If anybody can help me, please do. I am very much looking forward to checking out these exit polls. We are expecting results in a couple of hours, a couple of hours away from exit polls still at this point in time. Let me welcome some new people. I want to say hello and thank you to Ryan Summers. Ryan Summers is new member number 2 today at joinpacman.com. James, oh boy, here we go with the difficult last names. James Mitunin. James Mitunin is new member number 3. I apologize, James, if I've just butchered your name. I want to say thank you to Belinda Alba Canfield, who is new member number 4 today at joinpacman.com. We have a generous but achievable goal of 50 new members. Also want to say thanks to Edzone for subscribing with Twitch Prime, and Fenwick for subscribing with subscribing for 8 months on Twitch as well. Squirrelosis says, if somehow Bernie wins South Carolina, he'll win the nomination. I mean, I only go by the polling. I find it very unlikely Bernie will win South Carolina, but stranger things have happened, and he could certainly overperform. Frank One Rouge says, why do a lot of Americans think Europeans are communists? Because we are free and got socialist programs? Why do people believe those lies? I'm Dutch. Okay. Some things I don't have answers for, my friend. Dillinger Siatic says, will South Carolina victory be of real significance for Biden? For Biden, winning South Carolina and winning it by a lot would give him, it would avoid having to get the hell out very soon, and it would probably give him some momentum into Super Tuesday. If Biden were to underperform the polls significantly, it would be very, very bad for him. It would be, so it's more avoiding disaster than, so it would be of significance in avoiding disaster. Downfall Parodies 1 says, how will the media spin Biden's victory against Bernie? Well, for one, they'll finally have something they don't have to spin. They'll just be able to report Biden won, and potentially by a significant number. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Welcome to everybody joining us. We are awaiting results in South Carolina. We are hopefully soon going to get some exit polls. Let's just dig in a tiny bit here to the Bernie rally while I look at one other spot potentially for the exit polls. Give me a moment here.
$1 trillion a year on weapons of destruction. Maybe we should pool our resources, fight our common enemy, which is climate change. And when we talk about issues that cannot be swept under the rug, we have got to recognize that
Bernie's voice not sounding too good. Okay, as a hype train explodes on Twitch, I am still unable to find those exit polls. But if somebody tells me where to find them, we will immediately pull those up. To review, if you were just joining us, we do have South Carolina polling, which saw a big spike for Joe Biden. This is me just reporting the polls, I'm merely the messenger. I didn't do the polls. I didn't suggest to people how to respond to polls. I'm merely reporting the polls, and Joe Biden doing very well there. We have, as of now, 45 delegates for Bernie Sanders, 26 for Buttigieg, 15 for Biden, 8 for Warren, and 7 for Klobuchar. Nobody else really in this thing. Tom Steyer hoping for some delegates today. Actually, so there are actually more questions coming in and other things. So let me actually answer questions. And then I have some videos that I wanted to play for you guys as well. I've got a lot of different stuff to get to today as we await results. Downfall Parodies. Oh, no. So we got that one already. ZM, thanks for all you do. Thank you. Benjamin Potter says, do you think Mike Bloomberg is running as a financial calculation? Like if a progressive wins and implements a wealth tax, he stands to lose much more than what he has invested in the campaign. You know, here's the thing. I don't think we're going to get a wealth tax no matter who's president in the next 4 years. That's my view. Now, we can argue about a wealth tax versus upping the top marginal tax rate versus upping the capital gains rate or whatever. I don't believe we will get a wealth tax. I don't believe, obviously, Republicans aren't going to go for it. Many, if not most, Democratic senators are not going to go for it. I don't think we get a wealth tax. So I think that this is more complicated than Bloomberg is running to avoid a wealth tax, because I think he knows, even if Elizabeth Warren, you're not going to pass the 2% wealth tax with what is probably going to be a Republican Senate and maybe would just barely become a Democratic Senate in 2022. I just don't think it's going to happen. And again, I tell you things as I believe they are, not as I would necessarily like them to be. Cheeseburgers 747 says, thanks for your reporting. Eric O says they're blaming Dow Jones plus Corona on Supreme Leader. The Fight in Hobbit says Biden couldn't book Lassie in a pet shop window. Isaac Mendez has grabbed a YouTube membership at the soy boy level. And Jared Bartell says, what do you think the most likely outcome would be in the general? If Biden was able to steal the nomination from Bernie. So I have two thoughts on this. The polling says every Democratic challenger beats Trump. My intuition says it's going to be very difficult for any of the Democratic challengers to defeat Trump when you look a little more closely at the states likely to be the key states. So you have my optimistic self and my more realist self. And I believe that it is, no matter what the polls say, it is going to be a very difficult 2020 general election, no matter who the nominee is. Let's welcome a couple of other new members. We have a goal of 50 website members. I want to welcome Gabriel Hassan or Hassan. I believe when it's two S's, it's pronounced Hassan. Alan Ciccone. Isn't that Madonna's last name? I believe that Madonna's last name is Ciccone, or is it Ciccone? Now I'm not sure. Alan, thank you. You are new member number 6 today. I also want to say thanks to Frank Witter, who is new member number 7 today at joinpacman.com. Frank's clever. Frank took advantage of that coupon code 2020 now, which saves you 66%. Let me say thank you to some folks over on Twitch. Nathan Rogers has grabbed the Twitch Prime subscription. Larry Hova has subscribed with Prime. And Jacked Cowboy has subscribed at Tier 1 as well. Let's see. Other questions. T-Machine says, your reading of the polls is obviously very biased and sarcasm. Yes. When I read the polls, I'm clearly injecting my opinion. Seth Simonelli says, were you at the rally in Boston today? It was packed. No, I tend to avoid large crowds, and it was just a zoo. I had a bunch of different stuff to do today. I was around town. I did not go, wow, things getting crazy at this Bernie rally, very clearly. I did not go. I just avoid stuff like that. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not agoraphobic or anything like that, but I just, I didn't want to stand from 10 to noon at the Common waiting for Bernie. It was a mess. But I heard it was great. Edward Forster says, stop saying Bloomberg. Yeah, I should just call him Mini, right? Jared Bartell has grabbed a YouTube subscription. Soldier of Science says, if the DNC steals the candidacy from Bernie again, I swear I'll vote for Trump and independent. Well, then you'll help Trump win, which maybe would be what you want to do in that scenario. Dillinger Sciatic says, CNN has article, South Carolina Democratic voter demographics set states primary apart from previous 3 contests, exit polls show, as of 5/14. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see here. Here it is, 16 minutes ago. Let's see if we can find some of these actual exit polls. Okay. Oh boy, everything now freezing up. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. 4 in 10. South Carolina electorate so far is more religiously active than Democratic primary voters in New Hampshire. 4 in 10 say they attend religious services at least once a week. That was only 13% in New Hampshire. That's connected to the racial diversity of the electorate, but not entirely driven by it. A majority of Black Democratic primary voters in South Carolina say they attend services weekly, compared with 3 in 10 white voters. South Carolina's electorate includes more voters who describe themselves as moderate or conservative than any of the other 3 states to vote thus far. Half call themselves moderate or conservative here, compared with a third in Iowa and Nevada, and roughly 4 in 10 in New Hampshire. 1 in 5 said they made up their minds earlier in February, and about twice as many said they decided whom to support before February. Interesting. South Carolina Democratic Representative James Clyburn's late endorsement of Joe Biden was a critical factor for a quarter. See, that's actually very interesting. My position for years has been, I don't believe endorsements really matter very much, except when they do in very specific and narrow situations. I said when we covered it on Tuesday or Wednesday that Clyburn's endorsement of Biden in South Carolina did matter. And it appears that 25% of the primary voters are saying it did matter. And that is important. 1 in 5 voters were participating in their first primary. That's slightly higher than the share who said so in New Hampshire. I assume first-time primary voters are more likely to vote for someone other than Biden. That's my instinct, but we will ultimately see if that is true. 35 precincts, full sample, have a margin of 4 percentage points. Very interesting. Okay, so if you guys don't disagree, my sense is that the exit polls so far also favor Joe Biden, which is what we've been thinking for a little while. Does every news website now just have a toxic level of pop-ups? Is that what it is? It's quite wild. So we still have a Bernie rally going on. If anybody has other coverage that they think I should pick up, the video from this Bernie rally has been just absolutely horrible. I'm glad to switch to something else as we await results here. Let's see other super chats coming in. Me person says disregard the other guy. Definitely call him Blight Bloomberg. Nico's rap says WYR. Would you rather have Alex Jones or Jesse Lee Peterson as president? Jesse Lee Peterson or Alex Jones? You know, maybe Jesse Lee, because Jesse Lee is less overtly conspiratorial than Alex Jones. Maybe. I'm trying to think that through. Probably Jesse Lee, yeah. I think Jesse Lee Peterson over Alex. Mr. Biscuit says, will you join the hundreds of thousands protesting in Milwaukee if the DNC attempts to steal the election from Bernie at the contested convention? You know, it's not that easy to last minute go to Milwaukee during a convention. I am in talks now with a couple of our partners to be there for the entire convention, doing stuff, be at a couple of conferences and different things. I may be there, I may not, but it's unlikely that at the last minute I would go. The plans will likely be made very, very much ahead of time. Wasting Time says, it'd be hilarious if you did joint primary election commentary with Jesse Lee Peterson. That would be funny. Zach Finley says, hey, David, wanted to say hi. Thanks for your service here tonight. Also, thanks for the half-off membership deal I took advantage of. Best wishes. Thank you. And Ebony Washington says, who do you think the superdelegates will give the election to if we end up at a brokered convention? My guess is whichever centrist candidate has the most delegates at that time. That's my sense. Let me say thank you and welcome to some other new members who are really doing an amazing things. Gabriel Joseph is new member number 8 tonight at joinpacman.com, or this afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Tormud Casbo is new member number 9 tonight, and Joshua Storm is new member number 10 tonight. Join these great people by grabbing a membership at joinpacman.com. Coupon code available but not mandatory, as you can see up there. 2020 now saves you 2/3. Let's see what we have happening over on Twitch. Not that much. Thanks to Brent Stone, I believe is the username, for the bits with the message. What was the message with the bits? I'm having trouble finding it here. Voted for Bernie in South Carolina this morning. No issues, hoping for better than expected results. All right, very good. Let's see what else we might have if we put South Carolina primary and then we filter by live. Let's see what else. So my stream comes up first. That's interesting. None of these other streams are striking me as particularly exciting. We have MSNBC stuff. Let's see if there's anything here that is of interest to us. Oh, they actually are running some of the exit polls. So let's see. South Carolina Democratic primary voters. Have you ever voted in a primary before? 81% yes, 18% no. Okay, this actually may be interesting. Let's see what we can glean from this stuff as we see a commercial for Freshly. Age, 17 to 29, 10%, 18, 43, and 29. That seems relatively standard based on the prevailing age demographics in South Carolina to me. 55% women, 45% men. Okay. Let's see what's next up in the exit polls. Feelings about Trump administration. Oh, and it just disappeared. Oh, it's Joy Reid, everybody's favorite broadcaster, everybody's favorite centrist broadcaster. An hour and 25 minutes, of course, until the polls close, as you probably know by now. Okay, yeah, I'm actually interested in seeing what the exit poll data suggests here. Over on YouTube, let's see here. Want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. Waffles Giraffle says, amazing, autocorrection is beta. Tyler and the residents say, Mr. Mayor, Mini Mike Bloomberger. Dominique Quintanilla says, glad your channel is doing good on streams, David. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jake Easter, do you have a good source for news in Spanish you would recommend? You know, there's a guy who has a show, I believe it's out in California. His name is Fernando Espuelas. He is sort of Argentinian, Uruguayan. I believe he was born in one and raised in the other or something. He does a show that's partly in English, partly in Spanish. He's really good. I like him a lot. I think it's on Univision Radio. Seth Barham says, hi, David. Thanks for your coverage. Have you or do you plan to make any preparations for the impending coronavirus epidemic? You know, let me actually, I want to show you guys something. I've been thinking, let me pop up another window here. I think you might find this interesting. I've been looking at a couple different things, and I've been doing this to try to be prepared. So first thing I did is I looked at N95 masks, and I saw that they were being gouged. Like, look at some of these prices. Actually, 100 for $160 doesn't seem crazy. But my idea was I might grab a full face respirator mask and use this for doing the show. The only concern about it is I don't know that the mic will easily pick up I think it'll distort the audio, but I was considering wearing a full face respirator safety mask, including possibly goggles, and maybe even one with the double filters. Let me see if I can find a better example of what I've been looking at. Something more like, where is the double? Anyway, one that's sort of like this, but with the double filters, just to make a point during the show. That was one idea. Then I also thought about getting, it's like, let me see if I can find it. There's a particular type of face mask. It's like a face shield. Face shield. Yeah, I was thinking of getting something like this, just stocking up and during coronavirus stories, wearing these things. So wear a face shield. I think that would allow me better sort of audio. And then I was also thinking, let me see if I can find it. It's like a beekeeper mask. Nah, this isn't exactly what I was looking for. Maybe more of a hazmat head covering. I can't find it now, but I was also going to grab a hazmat head. It's basically like just the top piece of a beekeeper's outfit. And I was going to rotate those things during coronavirus segments. And, part of it is it would be sort of visually compelling and it might get some attention. But I actually think that we are in such trouble with the current administration's handling of coronavirus. And that's actually, maybe this is an opportunity to deal with some of that stuff. I have some videos that I posted. Listen to Trump sounds all barely conscious in this latest coronavirus press conference where he started talking about ISIS.
It's been a long journey in Afghanistan in particular. It's been a very long journey. It's been a hard journey for everybody. We're very largely a law enforcement group, and that's not what our soldiers are all about. They're fighters. They're the greatest fighters in the world. As you know, we've destroyed in Syria and Iraq 100% of the ISIS caliphate, 100%. We have thousands of prisoners.
Yeah, so this entire thing was about coronavirus, incredibly, and we have other videos that are whack.
Currently, that have coronavirus. Unfortunately, one person passed away overnight. She was a wonderful woman, a medically high-risk patient in her late 50s. 4 others are very ill. Thankfully, 15 are either recovered fully or they're well on their way to recovery.
Yeah, there you go. And then here's another one.
So healthy people, if you're healthy, you will probably go through a process and you'll be fine.
Well, I'm convinced everything's going to be fine. Also, really weirdly last night, Trump talking about how he has ordered elements of medical. Now, you might be wondering, what does he mean by elements? Is he talking about elements as in like oxygen, boron, silica? What does he mean by elements of medical? I have no idea.
A lot of spirit, and as you know, with the flu, on average, we lose from 26,000 to 78,000 people a year, even more than that in some cases, some years. We haven't lost anybody yet, and hopefully we can keep that intact.
We now have.
There have been no deaths in the United States at all. A lot of that's attributable to the fact that we closed the border very early. Otherwise, it could be a different story.
So yeah, yesterday I posted flight records of planes flying in from Shanghai to LA. So that's not true.
So we'll just keep doing a good job. We're ordering a lot of supplies. We're ordering a lot of elements that, frankly, we wouldn't be ordering unless it was something like this. But we're ordering a lot of different elements of medical.
Elements of medical. They've ordered elements of medical. We are seriously screwed. I mean, it is just, it's shocking how screwed we are. I'm not loving this stream. Let me see if I can find another better stream that might have some exit polls for us. I love that if you search for live streams for the South Carolina primary, this live stream is the first one that comes up. That's great. But does ABC have anything for us? Let's see if they have anything coming in so far. By the way, if you are just joining me, if you're just joining us on Twitch, please make sure you're following my Twitch channel. We are trying to get to 30,000 Twitch followers. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. This stuff is free, guys. It costs nothing. It's my request to you. We've been doing all these streams. I'm not asking for much. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And we are trying to get to 1 million YouTube subscribers by Election Day. And I don't think that it is a crazy goal, of course, with your help. Let's see. So it's 6 p.m. Okay, so we're 15 minutes away from the live South Carolina coverage. So we'll keep it here momentarily and see what comes up. All right, I don't want to fall behind on thanking people who are supporting the stream. So let me do that right now. Let's see here. Susan Pell. Susan, thank you. You are new member number 11 today at joinpacman.com. Diana Felder. Diana, thank you. You are new member number 12 today at joinpacman.com. Denise Long, you were new member number 13 today. Very much appreciate your support. We do have an ambitious but achievable goal of 50 new website members today, and I love all the folks that have been supporting. We have our delegate count. If you're just joining us, Bernie Sanders currently leading the delegate count, and Pete Buttigieg in second place, Joe Biden in third. By every expectation, based on the polling in South Carolina, we are expecting that Joe Biden will be close to Bernie in delegates after everything is all said and done today. But you've got to count the votes. This is why we do the elections. We are starting to get some exit polling numbers. Let's see if we have anything new here. I would love to just see the exit polling absent sort of the narrative that we are getting in this article, but I'm not seeing any place to do that. They are sort of telling a story about the exit polling, but I am not actually seeing just the facts as the kids these days like to say. Okay, let's get to some other super chats. Mr. Appby. Oh, sorry, I scrolled by. Mr. Appby says early voted for Bernie in North Carolina, crossing my fingers. Dillinger Sciatic says video quality of Bernie's rally looks like 1972. Yeah, that's why we got away from it. The Real Life Channel. Are you worried the coronavirus will cause problems for the primaries? Will the DNC cancel or suspend? Getting sick while campaigning? What's your take? I don't think so. I don't think so. But listen, if it really gets as bad as some believe it's going to get, anything could happen. Mike Leitner says, I'm feeling the burn, but the campaign really needs to get a better streaming setup. This isn't the first time where they've had clogged pipes. Yeah, yesterday's rally in Springfield, Massachusetts was fine. Today's not so good. Katie Hayes says, just finished 8-hour volunteer shift to canvas door knock for Bernie in Charlotte. Most people who talk seem concerned about other people not rallying behind him or other Democrats obstructing his policies. Interesting. JDS Third with a super chat. Jordan Hollister says, could Destiny beat Jesse Lee Peterson in a boxing match? Yeah, I think so. Destiny is not a big guy, but neither is Jesse Lee. I'm going to see Destiny tomorrow for lunch, it looks like. I'll ask him. Dominique Quintanilla says, guest on Destiny stream said you had some bad hot takes. Oh, who cares? I don't even know who that guest was. Jacob Ball. Dave, you can get gas masks with attachments for voice. They're used for radio communications while wearing the mask. That can't possibly be true. Can it? Let's take a look here. Gas mask audio. Let's see. I'm sure that I'm getting trolled now, but I'm not finding anything like that. If that really exists, I would be very, very curious to see it. Let me know if that's actually for real. Jane Woman Power. Sick how phony Trump is in his quiet voice. Ugh. Yeah. James Montalbano. This administration is going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear, but it could get worse before it gets better. Yeah, it could be January of 2021, or it could be January of 2025. Oh, someone's saying search for a Darth Vader audio mask. These mostly seem like children's toys. Star Wars electronic helmet. You know, I don't know that I'm willing to go quite so far. I don't know that I need that. Let me say thanks to some people over on Twitch. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. ALH9700 says, thanks, David, for the extensive coverage of the caucuses and the independent news source. Kudos from Bordeaux. Welcome. Multi-Beast says, member of the day, February 6th, 2017. A day that will live in infamy. Glaive Magic sent some bits. Haiku 333 subscribed with Prime. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Other questions continuing to come in. Max says, am I right to feel relatively powerless against the DNC, Bloomberg's plutocracy, and uninformed voters? It feels like such an uphill battle. It is an uphill battle, but it is not an impossible battle. And that, I think, is the important thing. Listen, if we don't get out and do our thing, then it definitely is impossible. That's why it's so important to do so. Rational Inquirer has grabbed a YouTube membership. Magpie's Nest Productions. Think anyone will drop out after Super Tuesday? Yeah, I expect Steyer will be out after Super Tuesday. Tulsi still has no path to even a single delegate, and she should get out now, if not after Super Tuesday. So yeah, I expect the race to narrow after Super Tuesday. Thanks to Matthew Kelly for signing up with a YouTube membership. Pierre Boudreau says, how would a Bernie presidency influence Canada? I have no idea. That's more of a question for Canadians. Mr. Appby says, speaking of Destiny, what in the hell happened to him? He went from being a good progressive to all of a sudden becoming more centrist than Joe Biden. I don't know. I don't really watch any political shows. Mike Lewis has grabbed a YouTube membership. R.G. Christie says, I love Joe, but I think that he would be best at Secretary of State. He knows and is liked by the international community. He could mend the fences. Biden as Secretary of State, he would certainly be qualified. He certainly wouldn't satisfy progressives, that's for sure. Mike Lewis has upgraded his membership from soy boy to beta. Pierre Boudreau says, could you say a few sentences in French? It's a little too early in the night for that, Pierre. I think we need to put a hold on. Maybe we'll deal with that a little bit later. If you're just joining us, we have been reviewing delegate numbers out of in advance of South Carolina results. We have been looking at polling going into South Carolina, where Joe Biden is looking strong, as you see this big spike here, adding almost 50% to his support, incredibly. We have reviewed some very bizarre videos of Donald Trump, who has added elements of medical over the last 24 hours. And we've also started to get some exit polling data. 4 in 10 in South Carolina say they're seeking a candidate who can bring needed change. A quarter say they want a candidate who cares about people like them and who can unite the country. The electorate in South Carolina, more religious than any other electorate that we've seen so far. And we've been tracking all of that information. Let's see what other South Carolina live streams have cropped up in the last 10 or 15 minutes. There's ours, of course, the ABC News one. We'll just open that in another tab for now. Not recognizing any of these others. We have a CPAC stream that's going on. And that is roughly it for now. So we'll keep an eye on that. And ABC's coverage expected to start in less than 10 minutes, which is very exciting. We are getting closer to results. That's the important bit of news. Let me say thanks to a few other new members because there are some really great people signing up. Let me say thank you and welcome to Joseph Kiefer, who is new member number 14 tonight. Well, not number 4, number 14. I want to say thank you and welcome to Michael Plotkin, who is new member number 15 at joinpacman.com. Autumn Luciano is new member number 16 tonight. And Sasha Porth is new member number 17 tonight. If you're just joining us, a really great way to support the stream. All of these are optional, but a really great way to support the stream is to grab a membership at joinpacman.com. And we have a coupon code 2020NOW, which will save you 66%, which is crazy. But if you just want to do something free, make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you hit like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. It's free. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you're following my Twitch channel as we are closing in on results in South Carolina. Rick Martin says, how do the VP options compare for the top runners? I have committed myself not to get into VP stuff until later. I just think it's a distraction right now. Mike Lewis says the DNC prefers Trump over Bernie. You know, sometimes I believe the same thing. Sometimes I believe the same thing. Luminia M says, love your work, David. Thank you. Eritro Pathak says, do a live chat with Rave D, classical liberal from LA. There's an idea. Blooptki says, could Bernie function with a divided Congress? He would likely have no choice if you look at the numbers. Tristan Clemens says, people are pointing out that Bernie exaggerated most statistics during the South Carolina debate. What are your thoughts? There were some inaccuracies. For example, Bernie said that women make 80 cents on the dollar compared to men. My analysis is that it's really more like 91 cents on the dollar. I would rather the right numbers for sure at every opportunity. Let's see. Hacked up for BBQ says Destiny's love of capitalism outweighs his love of progressive policies. Keep up the great work, David. Early voter from Oklahoma. And Gormoroth says, am I crazy hoping for a Bernie win today? Well, no, every Bernie supporter, I guess, is hoping for a Bernie win. The math of it does not seem to favor Bernie, but he is likely to pick up some more delegates today. Let me say thank you to Berserk Llama, who has subscribed with Twitch Prime, and Rule of Halves, who has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Joseph Sedagati says, can I get a hot take on the Afghanistan withdrawal? I want to get out of Afghanistan as soon as possible, and I want to do it in the right way without causing any issues that will pull us back in at any future point. But I did not really follow the announcement today, and I'm not sure exactly what Trump has cooked up right now. Let me say thank you to, to no one. I thought I had a couple other new members to thank, but I actually did not. Okay, if anybody has updated exit polls, I would love to know exactly where to find them. We have sort of a narrative of exit polls here. Let's see what's happening over on the Vox results page. Let's see. So obviously we have no results yet. What else do we have? Polls close at 7. Results can't be expected until later. I'm not sure about that. They say given the closeness of the race, results aren't expected until later in the evening. I think we may get results tonight far earlier, or at least a call far earlier than some people imagine. Biden expected to win, but not poised for the landslide once expected. Live results. Let's see what we have under live results. Oh, that's the page we're on. Okay. All right. So nothing new there. And okay, so I guess we don't really have much new going on right now. which is fine. We are soon expecting coverage to start here on ABC, and we're a little early to the stream tonight. And I think, let's see if any other streams have since started. See who else has results. Just that ABC one. Yeah, really nothing else going right now. There's still the CPAC still going on. Okay, so that's fine. We're early to the game, which is completely fine. Mr. Appb asks, Superman versus Goku, who wins? I don't know what Goku's powers are, so it'd be impossible for me to say. David Mitnick says, you claim to oppose super delegates, but you are willing to take super chat money. Why the hypocrisy? You know, that's true. Both have the term super in them. Man, I must be some kind of shill. Let me say thank you to Alexandru Varka for grabbing a soy boy level membership over on YouTube. I also want to say thanks to Brent Corrigan for the Twitch Prime subscription and to Comstock Rocker for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that support. I would love to see in the chat now on both YouTube and Twitch. We are also live on Facebook, but I can't see the chat there because the interface is just not particularly friendly to us. Who do you believe will win tonight? Not who do you support, right? Not who do you support. Who do you believe will win tonight in South Carolina? Do you agree with the polls or not? A lot of people say Trump will win tonight. It seems Biden. Okay, it seems everybody is essentially understanding the polling numbers. Some people wondering whether Tulsi will win tonight or whether there will be a Klobuchar clobbering. The Kloba train, people jumping on that. Martin O'Malley. I think John Edwards has a real shot. I mean, South Carolina is his home state. Bernie. A lot of people say Bernie's going to win. I just don't see the math of it. Unless the polls are just so wrong. A lot of Kloba trainers. Interesting. John Delaney, maybe. Yang. Yeah, Yang might win tonight. Who knows? Oh, wait, no. John Edwards is from North Carolina. That's right. I apologize. It's been so long since he's been around that I forgot. Bloomberg. I don't even think Bloomberg is running. Or Mini, as some people want him referred to. Okay, looks like some coverage is starting here. Let's see what we've got.
This is an ABC News election update.
Welcome to ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us. We'll be bringing you updates on the votes in the South Carolina primary all night. We are just about an hour away from the polls closing.
Right.
Former Vice President Joe Biden has been the front runner in this state. Zareen Shaw.
All right, so we'll keep an eye. They may actually have some exit polls for us. I know a lot of people are mad. They say that when I talk about the math, that's establishment biased math. I know you're probably joking, but if you're not, seek help. Seek help, and very, very quickly. Let me say thank you to Tara Fayery. Tara Fayery is new member number 18 tonight at joinpacman.com. And Scott Huizinga. Scott Huizinga is new member number 19 tonight. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate your support. Join these great people at joinpacman.com. And remember that it costs nothing to follow my channel on Twitch or to subscribe and like on YouTube. All of that stuff is free. Yeah, people are saying I've sold out to big math. I have. This show has been a shill for just looking at data for a very long time. And if there is any power that we are subservient to, it is the process of mathematics, statistics, and science. That, you got me, guys. You got me. Other super chats that are coming in. Let's see here. Jordan Hollister asks, did you enjoy your visit to my country, England? I did. I went to England in December. It was not my first visit, but I was in London and Oxford and loved it. I'm not that big on British food, although I did do like a Sunday roast thing at a local pub, and it was cool. That was really good. And then the Indian food is, of course, bigly tremendous in London. And what else was good in London? There was some good... There was a great little Japanese cafe where I got some great breakfast near where I stayed. And no, yes, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Jason Bover says, if Bernie comes up short, then Warren's 50 delegates might push him over. Should we rebuild the bridge? Vice President SOS. That bridge may already have been rebuilt privately, and we just don't know. It will be a sight to behold. I Hate Juice sends a super chat. DMAC has grabbed a YouTube sub. Comrade Matthias says Jeb is going to win tonight. Listen, it is as likely that Jeb wins tonight as it is that Tulsi wins tonight in the Democratic primary. Let me go on record and say that. Donna P has grabbed a YouTube subscription. Mr. App B says, is Kyle Kulinski really bought by Big Seltzer? Not that I'm aware of. I didn't think he had a Big Seltzer sponsor. Nick asks, hi, David, have you ever been to the Netherlands? I've been to Amsterdam and I've been to Maastricht. Those are the two places that I've visited in the Netherlands and absolutely loved both of them. Erythropathak says, where do you get good Indian food in Boston? There's a place in, you know what? I'm not even really sure. I'm not sure where I get good Indian food in Boston. There's a couple good places in Roslindale, or at least one. What's the place in Roslindale called? It might be, what is that Indian place in Roslindale? I don't know, but there's a good Indian food place in Roslindale that I like. I'm less familiar with the Indian food restaurants here in the city of Boston. If you are just joining us, we are 57 minutes away from polls closing in South Carolina. We are standing by for what will likely be, based on the polling, not based on my opinion, a fight mostly between Bernard Sanders and Joseph R. Biden Jr. Biden polling almost 40% average going in, including as high as 44 in South Carolina. Bernie Sanders polling an average of 24.3. Nobody else even polling in the viability threshold. So it may just be Biden and Sanders who pulled delegates today. If there are some specific areas where Steyer or Buttigieg can get to 15% at a district level, then they may grab some delegates. That is certainly possible. But that's the way it's looking right now. We've been keeping an eye on different live streams that are covering the South Carolina primary today. We have, we have the CBS stream now. Let's see what they've got going on.
Hi, Elaine. Well, in previous early states, we've been talking a lot about how voters were undecided, either going into the caucuses or going into the polling booths. I would say it's a different feeling here in South Carolina because Joe Biden enjoys such a big lead.
All right,
in
so
polls.
everybody's doing basically the same stuff. There's a PBS live stream as well, but they are not, they don't seem to be covering the election. So we will sort of check out what's happening on CBS. We'll keep an eye on what's happening on ABC as well. And keep an eye on the results. Some early exit polls so far suggesting that the electorate in South Carolina is more racially diverse than those that we've seen and more religious than those that we've seen so far. Let's see. Other super chats coming in. Winston McHetz says, if Bernie does win South Carolina, Biden should drop out. A lot of people feel that way. Daniel Abram has signed up on YouTube. Liquids Back says Biden will win, but it will be a Pyrrhic victory. A Pyrrhic victory, for people not familiar with that term, a Pyrrhic victory is a victory during which so much damage is incurred by the eventual victor that it is in the long term or in broad strokes not really a victory. Hopefully people agree with my definition of Pyrrhic victory. Reckless Eating has grabbed a Twitch Prime subscription, and Bensk128 has done the same. I also want to say thank you to Casper Seaman, who has grabbed a membership. It's weird. I've met a bunch of people named Casper recently, and I didn't know what I don't know what the background, what's the origin of the name Casper. It sounds just British, right? Or I guess, I don't know. It's interesting, though. I like it. Walker Anderson. I know her fans bug you understandably, but why do you insist on calling Tulsi Tulsi? I don't know what you mean. At the end of the day, she served our country and you didn't. I have no clue what that, so you can't refer to people who have been in the military if you haven't. That's weird. I don't really get that. Michael Barrett says, what was the cause of Biden's huge jump? In part, the endorsement from Congressman Clyburn. R.G. Christie, what do you think it will take to unite the party and start concentrating on defeating Trump and the Republicans? This is the position of the Lincoln Project. Probably getting past the primary, to be perfectly honest. I'm not seeing that unity until we get past or at least closer to what feels like an inevitable result in the primary. Will Reddy says, what are your thoughts on chances for a Tulsi VP pick from Bernie? I would say almost zero. Aesop Twin, I think Vermin Supreme is winning. I met Vermin. He's been on the show, but I also met Vermin in New Hampshire on primary day last election cycle. Emily Kilcoyne says, what's up with Biden's sudden ascension? Again, that endorsement from Biden focused on South Carolina, knew that he had to do well and put a lot of resources there. Went there, I believe he went there while New Hampshire was voting or while Nevada, I don't remember now, but he went there very, very early. And the endorsement from Clyburn certainly did not hurt. Daniel Huberman says, do you think debate performances are overhyped? Well, the further in you get, the less a debate performance is going to move the needle one way or the other, unless someone does so poorly that, you know, it implodes their campaign. Mr. Appby asks, why has hardly anyone brought up Trump's praise of Kim Jong-un? When anyone on the right brings up the Castro comments, I feel like Trump's are worse. Well, people on the left are not likely to do that. And then people on the right aren't going to do that because it's not in their interest. So I think that I'm not sure who would bring it up typically. Trent Tanner says, will this win propel Biden to secure the Senate seat he's running for, or will voters go with the other Biden? Yeah, people didn't see the other day, Biden said, I am running for the U.S. Senate. And it was a really weird moment. Very, very strange moment. Let's see here. Super chats continuing to come in. Paul Cernisov has sent a super chat. Joseph Dinzy says, Casper is an old Persian name for treasurer. Oh, that's interesting. Did not know that. The Jake Tucker says, Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. You got me. Wow. Squirreliosis, Casper, German and Slavic from the personal name Casper or Kaspar, originally from Persian Kabayad, Kazanadar, or Ganjvar, meaning treasure bearer, ascribed to one of the three Magi or Magi. Wow, a big history there. Zachary Monroe. Hey, David, Zach from Flagstaff. I'm here with you every time you stream. I enjoy your commentary and coverage. You help me understand this confusing political world. Hashtag support for the David Pakman Show. Thank you, Zachary. I know you've been here at a lot of these. Comrade Matthias. Have you heard Trump told supporters to vote Bernie in South Carolina? Do you think it'll have an effect? No, I don't. Per Tiran says Casper were one of the men visiting Jesus according to the serial book Bible. All right. A lot of different views about the name Casper. Walker Anderson says, play coy all you want, but you were pronouncing Tulsi's name in an attempt to call her a tool. It's Tulsi. Tulsi. That is interesting. That's different. Rexol says, do you ever get visibly angry or punch the air? I don't punch the air now. JDS Third, Wolf Blitzer and Chris Matthews have their heads and hearts explode on air if Bernie wins tonight. Breaking the news. Oh, that's the other clip I wanted to show you guys while we wait. Chris Matthews last night mixed up his black people. Check this out. This is Lindsey Graham and this is Tim Scott. I almost said Tim Apple. Tim Scott, who are the two Republican senators from South Carolina. Now, there's a guy named Jamie Harrison, who also happens to be a black man, running against Lindsey Graham. What I'm going to play for you here is Chris Matthews. He knows he's about to interview Jamie Harrison. He seems to think that the video is of Jamie Harrison next to Lindsey Graham, and it gets super awkward. Check this out.
Jamie, I see you standing next to the guy you're going to beat right there, maybe. Lindsey Graham.
Tim Scott.
Jamie?
Tim Scott.
Who's that?
That's Tim Scott.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's the other senator, Tim Scott. What am I saying? Big mistake. Mistaken identity, sir. Sorry. Tell me how you're going to beat Lindsey. Everybody knows Lindsey.
Yeah.
Democrat.
There you go. So it was pretty cringe. It was pretty cringe. NBC Politics website has some interesting exit polls. Let's see if we can find that. NBC Politics. Let's find it and see what exit polls we've got. Oh my God, this is just toxically difficult to see. Where are these exit polls? Here we go. Very interesting. Let's see. More than a half dozen. Okay, early state Democratic primary and caucus voters. Ideology. So the South Carolina electorate is the least liberal and most conservative. Not hugely surprising. Let's see what else we've got. Oh my God, that's the only thing they have. So all right, let's read through. More than 6 in 10 voters. More than 6 in 10 voters in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada. More than 6 in 10 voters would rather see a nominee who can beat Trump. But South Carolina Democrats are not as focused on victory. Slightly more than half say they prioritize beating Trump. Strong support for Medicare-for-All. Support for the plan in Palmetto State, not as high. Okay, all right. So they have a few interesting things. I would love. Let's see. Is this? So we don't have. So I wish we could just get just the data so that we could interpret the data. If you guys know what I mean, I would really love that. Let's see what other info. Okay, so we have other exit polls at the bottom of the screen here. Let me see if I can put those on screen a little more clearly for you guys. There we go. Okay, 53% prefer someone who can beat Trump over someone who agrees with you on issues. That's interesting. Similar to the NBC data. Waiting for the next one. Replace all private health insurance with a government plan. 50% oppose. I'm sorry, 50% support, 44% opposed. That's actually pretty close. That's not that overwhelming, interestingly enough. Other exit poll data. That may be all they're going to show us for right now. Okay. Welcome if you are just joining us. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. If you are joining on Twitch, please hit that follow button. It costs nothing, and we really appreciate all of the folks following us. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button. We have 5,000 live viewers and only 1,500 people who liked the stream. Hit that like button, and please hit that subscribe button as well. It is free. It is completely free to hit the subscribe button. And we actually may be pretty close. Yeah, we're very close to getting to 811,000 subscribers, only a couple hundred away. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well on YouTube. Okay, let's answer some more super chats. Oh, no, but first I have to thank a couple of other people. I want to say thank you to Veda Dalset, who is new member number 21 at joinpacman.com. I want to point out to you that there are, we have a goal of 50 new members, and we are currently at 21. These are website members at joinpacman.com. Why website members? Because our payment system takes the tiniest sliver compared to Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, all this other stuff. You can save 66% with the coupon code 2020 now. I think we only need, like, what do we have? 1,100 people, 1,200 people, wow, watching on Twitch. 5,000 on YouTube, another 100 on Facebook. If only like 0.3% of the people watching grab a membership right now at joinpacman.com, we will instantly hit that goal of 50. Incredible. Incredible. Somebody asking, will the FTC come break down your door if you use the coupon code 2020 now? They probably will not. They probably will not. I would not worry too much about that at this point in time. Other super chats coming in. Let's see. I don't want to miss any, and a lot of these have scrolled past. Casper from Denmark. I'm learning so much about my name. Very informative stream, David. Keep it up. Thank you. Jimmy Bignuts. Favorite Trump nickname? I like Joe Munchkin Mansion. You know, I actually tend to like Minnie. Just Minnie for Michael Bloomberg. I find absolutely hilarious. And I'm the same height as Michael Bloomberg. I'm sitting on 5 boxes right now. There's nothing wrong with being 5'8". Everything's fine. I'm not short shaming. I actually got an email from someone saying they were furious with me that I was participating in the short shaming. It's like, I'm the same height as Michael Bloomberg. That's not what I'm doing. C.H. Burke Floyd IV says, video deep dive on crypto/election positions. Maybe. Let me put that one at maybe. Hilltop Ironworks says NBC Politics website has, yes, we saw that one. Good. Yeah, good. Okay. Kwazig3 sends a super chat. Abused Plasma sends a super chat. Brooks Madden, what do you think about the current divisive and chaotic nature of our national politics, and how do you think it will impact America's future? I am genuinely very concerned about it. And I'm not doing any of this unity stuff where it's like, oh, unity when it's this person winning, but not when it's that person winning, or what, you know. I am concerned about the division in the country and the hyperpartisanship. And I did a video about it a couple of weeks ago, which I invite you to check out, with peace and love, of course. Matt Chavez says, if Bernie wins it all, what's a realistic time frame Medicare for All will be passed and implemented? I'm thinking 2022 after the midterms to even pass. I believe that if Bernie Sanders is president, and I support Medicare for All, I support Medicare for All, I support Medicare for All, I'm in favor of Medicare for All, I would support Medicare for All if I were voting on it in the Senate or in the House. I'm in favor of Medicare for All. I need to do this because otherwise people will go crazy. I don't think we see Medicare for All in the first Bernie Sanders term. I just don't think we see it. I would do everything I can to make it a reality. I would lobby for it. I would call Ed Markey. I would call everybody. I just don't think it's going to happen in a first Bernie term. Many, if not most, Democratic senators are not even for Medicare for All. And I know everybody says Bernie will go in front of the public and declare it an emergency and he'll get it done and blah, 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 blah. I would love that. And I will lobby for it. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think it will be a starting point. And I know a lot of people dislike me for it. Dislike the stream. Do whatever you want. I tell you things as I see them. That's it. David, are you against Medicare for All? Very clever. Very, very clever. Okay. Let me say thank you to a couple of other people, or at least one. Matthew Brennan is new member number 22 today. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate that. And we are now just 28 subscribers away from our goal of 50. Okay. K Hill 7. Damn you, David. I have been avoiding that clip. The cringe is real. It makes me wonder what I need to do to get a well-paid job and suck at it. Let's just look at it one more time because it is so. Oh, wait, is this it? No, this is Jamie Harrison, but it's not. Okay. It's not the clip. This is the clip right here. Let's look at it one more time. Chris Matthews getting his black guys confused.
Democrats.
Jamie, I see you standing next to the guy you're going to beat right there, maybe. Lindsey Graham.
Tim Scott.
Jamie?
Tim Scott.
Who's that?
That's Tim Scott.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's the other senator, Tim Scott. What am I saying? Big mistake. Mistaken identity, sir. Sorry. Tell me how you're going to beat Lindsey. Everybody knows Lindsey.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty cringe. So last week, we heard from Chris Matthews that Bernie winning the Nevada caucus was like the Nazis invading France. This week we heard from Chris Matthews and that's sort of where we are today. The Beckminator says, "Hey David, love from Canada. Do you think if Bernie does well on Super Tuesday, it'll increase the likelihood that he gets a majority of delegates?" Well, yeah, it will. P.S. Don't worry about mispronouncing my name. I get it a lot. Vegard Feldberg says, "What do you think about Brave Browser? I know very little about it." Abused Plasma says, "Have you ever been to Scotland?" I have not. Kwazg3 sends a super chat. G Brown has grabbed a YouTube subscription. Dylan Tyler says, "I'm surprised not more people are supporting Bernie based solely off the consistency of his values and message throughout the years. He's incredibly reliable." Dumbass Loser, what is your degree beyond economics? I think you may have a master's, right? So my bachelor's degree is in, my Fitbit just flew off my wrist. Excuse me. My bachelor's degree is in economics and communication. And then I have a master's in business, specializing in economics and entrepreneurship. OK Computer says, Rep. RCP polls would give Bernie about 50% of delegates after ST due to non-viability of most candidates. Bernie is the only one viable in all Super Tuesday states. That's an interesting statistic. Rational Inquirer, when do we start talking about protest if it looks like the nomination will be stolen from Bernie? People are already talking about that. The Dude, hi David, tuning in from NL, is that the Netherlands, as I do every primary? Just a bit of a flavor question. Would you happen to have a favorite Dutch American? Yeah, my friend Evan Alberts is my favorite Dutch American. Evan Sutherland says, given that Biden hasn't been in a Super Tuesday in over a month, what happens after his win? Doesn't seem poised for super success. Sleepy Joe, we will see. That is a perfectly reasonable question. Let's see what else we have happening so far. Now we are just about 40 minutes away from initial results. Let's see what other primary streams we have going now. So we've got CBS and ABC. There's my stream, which is great. Local news we can't do. That's bad. Local news we want to stay away from. PBS NewsHour, but they're not covering the primary. And none of these other streams do I recognize. So I think we're in pretty good shape with these two streams that we have going right now. Brandon Getter says CNN just reported that 50% are pro Medicare-for-All in South Carolina. Yes, we just saw those numbers. KWASG3 says, love your YouTube stream because I pause and catch up at 2x. Oh, that's an interesting tactic. That is an interesting one. Let me say a few other thank yous. I want to say a big thank you to Cynthia Stonell, who is new member number 23 at joinpacman.com. And I want to say thank you to Deborah Simpson, who is new member number 24 at joinpacman.com. Appreciate your support. Come on in and grab a membership at joinpacman.com. But don't worry, there's free ways to support these streams. And case in point, you know how I've told you guys before that when people like the stream on YouTube and subscribe to it, we get preferential treatment in YouTube's algorithm? Case in point, if you go to YouTube right now and you type in South Carolina results and you filter for live events, the second one that comes up is this stream right here. Why is that? It's because I don't lie to you guys. When my YouTube rep tells me you want to get people to like and subscribe off of your stream because that will tell YouTube to go in and recommend the stream to more people, I'm telling the truth when that happens. So make sure to like and subscribe if you are joining us now on YouTube. It really does make a huge difference. Okay, let me do some Twitch membership shout outs and questions and all of that stuff. Marwig20 has grabbed a Twitch Prime sub and says Dennis Kucinich is going to win with alien votes. That's a possibility. Oh, sorry, we're on the wrong thing here. There we go. Zyrix has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Joe Wyatt has subscribed with Prime. Dawei Known has subscribed on Twitch. Is Colda Jones Y has subscribed with Prime. And Skanoshudo has subscribed as well with Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. Oh, can I do closed captions, people asking? I believe I can. Let's see. So we can keep an eye on what's going on. They're going to cover some things potentially, which is a little bit not ideal. Let's see if we can get, there we go. All right, not bad. The Buckmanator, you pronounced my name correctly on the first try. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Zach Finley says, shout out to Beck since I see him at RatNat 2. Bob the Dino, can you explain the with peace and love thing you say? So when Ringo Starr, the Beatles drummer, announced, oh, I can move these? Let's see. Oh, I can move those. Okay, let's put them up here. That's great. Great idea. I'm going to move these so they don't block key information. When Ringo Starr announced that he didn't want to sign souvenirs for people anymore, he was basically saying kind of like, screw off, like, stop sending me crap. But he kept saying, with peace and love, I am not accepting any more stuff to be signed after such a date. So whenever I'm communicating information that's critical or negative in some way, I channel that by saying, I say this with total peace and love, but you've got to adjust your behavior in this way or that way, or expectations. Eamon Minges says, even though you're 5'8", your hands are more in proportion with a man 6'2" or 6'3". That's actually true. I was able to palm a full-size basketball in 6th grade. 6th grade. It is true that I have unusually large hands for my height. Very different than Donald Trump, he claims 6'3". I think more like 5'11" and a half. But has noticeably very small hands. I can't even really do small hands. I guess it's kind of like this. But yeah, no, I was able to palm a basketball, and my head is very, very large, and I can put my hands completely around it. Let's see here. And you know what they say about people with large hands? I have to get large gloves. I am a size small in just about everything because I'm only a 5'8" guy, as many of you know. But gloves, I do have to get size large gloves. It's completely out of proportion. And in fact, this is a story some of you may like. A Ukrainian friend of mine who has an interesting sense of humor, who used to work with me at Circuit City when I was in high school, he noticed that not only are my hands large, but my arms are quite long, almost ape-like in a way. He would walk around kind of squatting down in order for his hands to be almost down at his ankles, pretending that my arms just normally, when I put them down at my sides, go down well below my knees. And he would do this while I was trying to sell extended service plans to customers. And it was extremely distracting. And I'm pretty sure that because he was my manager, his bonus depended on me selling those extended service plans. But he would still distract me in that way. That's what I've known for. That's what I'm known for, rather. I don't know what to tell you. Tyler Sauter says, will Trump COVID response anger the prepper base? Good question. I don't know. Timothy S., it's my 4-pound Chihuahua's 4th birthday. Give her love. Love to the Chihuahua. Theo S. says, hello, David from RSA. Is that the Republic of South Africa? Is RSA South Africa? Recommended dystopian sci-fi? Dystopian sci-fi. Well, I mean, 1984 and Brave New World, you've got to check out. There's a book called Lucifer's Hammer, which is very dystopian, which is very good. If you're a little queasy about, RSA Technology Conference in San Francisco. Okay. If you are queasy about cannibalism, I don't think I'm giving anything away, don't read Lucifer's Hammer. Other dystopian sci-fi, there is so much. Check out davidpakman.com/recommendations because I have a bunch of recommendations there. Let's listen in a little bit as I refill my water to what's going on here.
Tuesday's debate, our Major Garrett spoke to Joe Biden about what a win in South Carolina means to him. Let's listen to some of that.
If you don't win South Carolina, can Joe Biden, former Vice President of the United States, carry on in this campaign with any hope of securing the nomination? You're going to win.
I'm going to win South Carolina.
By how much?
I don't know.
Does it matter?
I think it's just important that I win. Just like
1 point is enough.
1 point is enough, but I think I can win by a lot more than that.
So how much is his campaign banking on tonight's results?
I mean, they feel really good. His campaign, his surrogates, supporters are all feeling really good about tonight. But I don't know that it's correct that just a win is enough right now. Biden really needs to show some strength. People are talking about a double-digit lead. So I think the campaign in the last 24 hours has been trying to sort of temper expectations. But at the same time, he really does. He needs to signal that there's some momentum here. And he's, frankly, out of cash. He's gotten a good boost of cash in the last week, but it's come late. And he needs the media attention. He needs the media narrative. And he just needs the momentum coming out of South Carolina. And the only way to do that is to win big here.
All right, Natasha Korecki for us in Columbia. Natasha, thank you very much. Still to come, we asked South Carolina voters what issues are on top of mind as they head to the polls. You're streaming Red and Blue live from Charleston, South Carolina.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me first say to all of you that we, in the last few moments, have been trying to locate Governor Reagan in Miami to congratulate him on what I think is a significant victory here in South Carolina. I want to He's entitled to congratulations, and I certainly want to extend them to him.
Well, Ronald Reagan won in South Carolina. I congratulate him. Did a first-class job. And now we set our sights on Florida. We've campaigned, had a long, I think, very productive day here. And looking ahead till Tuesday.
You can watch CBSN 24/7.
We've got an amazing story to share with you.
Let's talk about the latest developments. There's so many levels to this.
We have a CBS News exclusive.
Fires in California. What happens next, and how does it all play out?
We are on a mission with NASA.
I understand you have some breaking news. It's not over yet, is the bottom line.
This is a massive operation.
It's quite an adventure here at CBSN.
It's been a day.
We are just 27 minutes from polls closing in South Carolina. It is conceivable that we will have some early results right at the top of the hour. I don't know. Part of it is going to depend also on how close it is and the management of the results. As many of you know, that is a very, very big thing. We learned that in Iowa very quickly. Let me say thank you to a new member named, hold on a second. Actually, a bunch of people came in here. Okay. Dylan Powell is new member number 25 tonight. Evan Sutherland is new member number 26 tonight. Kate Goldhirsch is new member number 27 tonight. Actual Context is new member number 28 tonight. And Dennis McNamara is new member number 29 tonight. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. And we are about 60% of the way to tonight's goal. If you're just joining us, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We are taking questions from you, either via YouTube Super Chat. Those show up in the bottom left of the screen, or via Twitch Prime or Twitch sub messages at the top right of the screen. A few videos that we reviewed today already, which I will refresh for you. Here is Chris Matthews getting his black politicians confused.
Democrats.
Jamie, I see you standing next to the guy you're going to beat right there, maybe. Lindsey Graham.
Tim Scott.
Jamie?
Tim Scott.
Who's that?
That's Tim Scott.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's the other senator, Tim Scott. What am I saying? Big mistake. Mistaken identity, sir. Sorry.
Huge cringe. Then here is Donald Trump in the middle of the continued harebrained response to coronavirus last night, saying that no one had yet died. Of course, someone did die today, and mentioning that we have ordered elements of medical.
There's tremendous spirit, a lot of spirit. And as you know, with the flu, on average, we lose from 26,000 to 78,000 people a year, even more than that in some cases, some years. We haven't lost anybody yet, and hopefully we can keep that intact. There have been no deaths in the United States at all. A lot of that's attributable to the fact that we closed the border very early.
That's a lie.
Otherwise, it could be a different story. So we'll just keep doing a good job. We're ordering a lot of supplies. We're ordering a lot of elements that, frankly, we wouldn't be ordering unless it was something like this. But we're ordering a lot of different elements of medical. We are working on cures, and we're getting some.
If it wasn't absolutely dystopianly horrible, elements of medical would just be funny, but it's actually completely toxic. And there is here is Sleepy Trump, barely coherent at a conference this morning about coronavirus, talking about ISIS.
It's been a long journey in Afghanistan, in particular. It's been a very long journey. It's been a hard journey for everybody. We're very largely a law enforcement group, and that's not what our soldiers are all about.
Right.
They're fighters. They're the greatest fighters in the world. As you know, we've destroyed in Syria and
then you might say, what does that have to do with coronavirus? And the answer is, of course, nothing whatsoever. Other super chats, green and purple. Without Medicare-for-All, uninsured people will suffer horribly from COVID-19. Yes, that is absolutely correct. The stone cold bottom. Sorry, hold on. When a bunch of super chats come in at once, things just scroll up. The Stone Cold Bottom. Who do you think is Sanders' most viable VP choice? Again, I'm not doing VP stuff for now. I don't see the advantage. Joseph Sedagati. You pronounce my name perfectly. It's literally the reason I keep throwing money at you. You pronounce exit strangely, though. Exit. That's interesting. I do pronounce it exit as opposed to exit. Wow, I never knew that. Somebody pointed out that I pronounce new with a liquid U as opposed to new, like I have a new car versus I have a new car. I've always said new. Waffles Giraffles. If president, will Bernie need to adopt Trump's direct messaging tactics, addressing the public to pressure the party in line with his policies? I don't know. I don't see why he would. He doesn't have to do everything the way Trump does it. Downfall Parodies says Jesse Lee Peterson versus Vermin Supreme for POTUS. Definitely Vermin. Definitely Vermin. Dylan Tyler, is it possible Mayor McCheese comes away with a few delegates tonight? Yeah, it seems it's anybody's game tonight. Thanks to Adon Stewart for signing up on YouTube. Dusty Dark Horse says, from being not sure we could hit 10 new members in a live stream to being in our 20s before results even start coming in. Killing it, David. Killing it, David. Thank you so much. And we are actually going to get even closer. I dare say Adon Stewart is new member number 30 at JoinPac. Whoa, no, not 330, 30 at joinpacman.com. I also want to say thanks to Lori Beverly, who is new member number 31 at joinpacman.com. Thank you. I appreciate that. Comrade Matthias, is your partner satisfied with your hand size? Very much so. Very much so. And really, you know, one of the things about palming a basketball, it's not just about the length of the fingers. It's about being able to really get around the ball, so to speak. That's a big part of it. And if you ask me what is most attributable, what can I most attribute to being able to palm a basketball in 6th grade? It's not the size of my hand so much as really getting that spread. You want to get as close to a full circle as possible and more than 180 degrees as you go around here, particularly if I really, really stretch there. And I could recommend some exercises for that as well. Let's see. Colin Cieni, do you ever play video games in your free time? You know, I used to play more video games than I do now. I never played a lot, but now that I've found my love of chess in my adulthood, the time I used to spend playing video games, which was not much, I play chess for the most part. Bell says, hey, Mr. Pacman, first time early voter from North Carolina. I'm feeling the burn. Joseph Dinzies, hummus or tahini, challah or lakach, rugelach or sufganiot, shawarma or falafel? That's a lot of questions. Let me just put it this way. Challah above almost all else, and falafel over almost all else, but really chocolate babka above everything else. Above everything else, that's for sure. Rob Not Bob, what is one opinion you used to hold that you now disagree with? That's a good question. I mean, just generally, I was indoctrinated into standard economics in high school, and until I was disabused of a lot of those notions, I believed a lot of that stuff that doesn't really work anymore. Also, planning on streaming any strategy games on Twitch? No, I don't think I am. RSA equals South Africa. Yes, thanks for the recommendations. Oh, so turkey, bacon, and cheese was wrong. RSA is South Africa. People asking, what is challah? Challah is a braided egg bread, traditionally eaten on Shabbat, Friday nights, and leftovers used on Saturday morning to make challah French toast. And my challah French toast is tremendous. You should see what goes on in my kitchen. When I start making the French toast, I almost have to call the police because there's people, it's like a zombie show where people are crawling up my windows and trying to bash them in and break into my house when challah French toast is made. It's absolutely a fantastic bread, which I highly, highly recommend to you. Let me say thank you to a couple of other people. Michael Sikana is new member number 32 tonight. And, oh, that's it. Okay. Just Michael at joinpacman.com. If you're just joining us, we are 19 minutes, maybe, from the first results in South Carolina. We're monitoring CBS News coverage. We are monitoring ABC News coverage. We are trying to avoid a technical fiasco because there are a lot of strange things happening today with my streaming setup, but hopefully it will all hold up. If you're just joining us on YouTube, please remember to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Because of your support and hitting like and subscribe, right now, if people search for South Carolina results live streams, we are the second one that comes up. Our little old tiny YouTube channel is coming up in front of CBS News, thanks to you fine folks hitting like and subscribe, which is amazing. It's truly, truly amazing, and I very much appreciate that. Let's continue seeing what's on folks' minds. Ivan Monroy has signed up on YouTube. EYTPS says, debate John Burke. I have no clue who that is. X says, have you read books by Chuck Tingle? His titles and covers are great. I have never read a Chuck Tingle book. Eamon Minges says, by the way, my name is pronounced Eamon phonetically. Oh, I'm sorry. Eamon Minges. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll likely be headed to the base at Shackleton Crater in November of 2058. It's a 3-day flight, but if I can get you another ticket, do you want to come with me? Well, in 2058, I'll be old. I don't know if I'll be in any kind of condition to be going to a crater. Nikolai Gayetti has grabbed a YouTube subscription. Anne Trieu says, what website do you pull results from? We'll use different websites each stream, but tonight, I mean, in 17 minutes, we may see some results here on CBS or ABC momentarily. Let's see. J Restrepo 08. What are some straight strategies Bernie can use to get his policies adopted once he is president? It's going to come down to negotiating bigly with Democrats in the Senate. Bernie is going to need Democrats in the Senate to come over to his side on a lot of policies. That is going to take, it's going to take some negotiation for sure. Shisa Lion Dog says, Bernie loss in South Carolina is just a speed bump. We will have an insurmountable lead after Super Tuesday, should dominate most primaries thereafter. Love your show. KWask3 says, how important is VP really after election, Kyle? How important is VP really after election, Kyle? I apologize, but I don't understand the question. Zach Finley, how many producer-level supporters do you have? I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Evan Sutherland says, is Pete in desperate used car salesman mode? He's not there yet, but he may be getting close, depending on the results on Super Tuesday. Ben Taylor, I saw your dog is ready to dreidel. It's DREIDEL. Yeah, I posted a picture to my Instagram page. I don't know if people want to check this out. It's not my dog. It's actually my dad's dog. And I frequently put things on his head. And he's a very, very good boy. So he allowed me to put a big wooden dreidel on his head. And I posted that recently with the message, he's ready early for Passover. Although someone pointed out dreidel is really more of a Hanukkah thing than it is Passover. But in any case, he's still he's a handsome dog. Let's see if is that? Yeah, it's hard to see, but anyway, you can find it on my Instagram at david.pacman. Very important discussions here until we get these results at the top of the hour. EYTPS says, is Pennywise scary to you? Pennywise the band? Not that I'm aware of, no. Nikolai Gayetti says, sorry for my weird Danish last name. Good day. No need to apologize. No need to apologize ever for your name. Let me say thank you and welcome to Gerard Fernando, who is new member number 33 of the evening, officially getting us 2/3 of the way to our goal of 50. We may just be 13 and a half minutes away from the first results out of South Carolina. We don't know. We'll see. Every state handles the primary differently. We'll see how much is counted at the top of the hour, but we are just about 13 minutes away. Oh, there, Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna's a friend of the show. I will sometimes Twitter DM with Ro. He is being interviewed. We will maybe get some results at the top of the hour. We may not. Every primary is run a little bit differently. Let me say thank you over on Twitch to Skrillas247 for the Twitch Prime sub. And let me say thank you to KBook3 for the Twitch Prime subscription over on Twitch. Very much appreciated. EYTPS says, I'm talking about the clown Pennywise. I have no clue what you're talking about. Lenneth, any concerns with bogus copyright issues tonight? Of course. Ben Taylor, no, Pennywise in the drain prob. Very handsome pup. Geez, I don't know what people are... Is this me being a boomer? I don't know what people are talking to me about. I really have no idea. Anything could be going on. I just have no clue. Thanks to Paul Fontes with a $2 Canadian super chat and the message, cool. I see people in the chat checking in from very, very far away, all sorts of different countries. Yeah, let me know in the chat where people are watching from. I'm curious if I know our friend Per from Sweden is watching and it's getting pretty late there. What countries are folks watching from today? Anybody? Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Finland, Austria, and Australia. A lot of Finland. That's interesting. Sweden, Belgium. Love Belgium. Mexico. Argentina. No way. That's interesting. Denmark, UK, Norway. I think we might have like 30 or 40 different countries represented. That's very interesting. Poland. The Republic of Tulsi. That's interesting. Austria. Germany. I'm seeing what's new. China. Oh, that's interesting. Greece, Spain. A lot of different places. Very, very interesting. A lot of people in China. A lot of EU people. Yeah, it's starting to get late in Canada. That's interesting. Russia, Uganda, South Africa, the great country of Indiana. China, somebody says. Yeah, that's an interesting place. I've been there. Let's see here. John Cusack says Pennywise from Stephen King's It. I have not. I've only read one Stephen King book, The Outsider. That's my full familiarity with Stephen King's work. Dillinger Siatic says people debate compulsory voting. Why not a modest voter tax credit? Why not end war but refocus spending on research? Historical benefit, for example, ARPANET. Theo S. Take on fountain pens in the university. I use them for notes. Yeah, when I was at the university, I tended, actually, I buy a bunch of these. I use a Uniball Signo. I guess it's a 207, and I use black ink. I don't know if that makes me racist against blue, but this is my preferred pen, and I've been with this pen for a while. It works for me, and I've got just boxes and boxes of them. And this is what I use. I wouldn't really be able to say too much else. Okay, we are just minutes away from polls closing in South Carolina, 9.5 minutes away. We are seeing an interview that was done earlier today with our friend Ro Khanna, a Bernie Sanders supporter, endorser, and surrogate, I guess we would say. We are expecting Joe Biden to win. The question is by how much? If Joe Biden doesn't win tonight, given the polling, and as you can see here, the degree to which Joe Biden surged in the polls, here this green line, is big. If Joe Biden just doesn't win tonight, Joe Biden is all but done. So we are waiting to see what will happen there. If Joe Biden wins, the question of by how much becomes relevant to can he build momentum going into Super Tuesday? Mathematically, the most likely two outcomes after Super Tuesday are no one is likely to get to 50% plus one delegates, or Bernie is likely to get to 50% plus one delegates. Unless we see a total reversal, it is unlikely that any scenario will sort of surface after Super Tuesday. Let's see other messages coming in. Nick Holcomb says, I put $5 on Klobuchar dropping out next. What are your thoughts? I think Steyer or Tulsi drop out next. Somebody says my audio is out of sync with my video. That would be shocking. That would be shocking. We have never had that issue before. Can anybody else tell me whether my audio and video are out of sync? If we're having that issue, it's a problem. Okay, everybody says it's fine. It's a millisecond behind. It's fine. A couple people saying maybe it is the tiniest bit. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. We've never experienced that. 99% of people are saying that it's actually fine, though. So that's pretty interesting. We are minutes from polls closing in South Carolina. Let me say welcome and hello to Zach Attack, who says via Super Chat, love the show and also love that you knew Pennywise as the band, not the character. Kelly D, shout out from Martinique. Thank you. Heather Wonacott with a Super Chat. Waffles Giraffles, Downer Trump makes me Google Adel Rodriguez's art. And Shaz K has subscribed via YouTube as well. Let me say thank you and welcome to Kylan Dibbs, who is new member number 34 of the evening. Do you guys think we can knock out the 50 new member target by the top of the hour before we get the South Carolina primary results starting to come in? We are 16 new members away. Let me do some math. It only takes 45 seconds to get a membership. People sign up, carry the 0. We're on like a 20-second delay. I think we could. I actually think we could get to 50 new members by the top of the hour at joinpacman.com. And I don't even care if people use the discount 2020 now. Take the 2/3 discount. It's not means tested. It's available for everybody. Most people think we can't do it. I love it when people are optimistic. Stan Sprinkle says, David, thanks for all the work you do. Romeo Alpha has grabbed a YouTube membership. KWASG3 says, with a strong president, how much value is a vice president really? Oh, no, yeah, that's a good point. You need your vice president to just not tank things for you. They need to basically stay out of the way and not dissuade voters. A strategic pick to run Senate is no more. Bring that back. Elevate non-senator. Kay Ellison. Thanks, Kyle. Roger Larson says, thanks for holding me sane in these trying times. Keep it up, David. John Cusack says, do you exercise? What do you do? Yes, I go to the gym. I will alternate cardio between the treadmill and the elliptical, and then I just walk around and pick up weights and then put them down. Nathan Alaback has also grabbed a YouTube subscription. I see people are getting ramped up now as we are just minutes from potentially the first results out of South Carolina. We are 6 minutes from maybe getting some results because polls do close very, very soon in South Carolina. And it is anyone's guess when we will know the results tonight. Adam Christopher Mead says, would you be willing to support my music? I don't know anything about it. So I would need to know something about it. Paul Cernasov, do you like Anna's Taqueria in Boston? It's not bad. Yeah, it's not a bad spot. Not a bad spot for a quick bite. Casper from Denmark, why did Biden surge so much? What amazing thing did he do to deserve that? Well, he focused in South Carolina, spent a lot of time there, put money into there, and he got a key endorsement from Congressman Clyburn. Did he save an orphan from a burning building? Not quite. Not quite. Theo S., love your data penchant. Physics stats major, and I get frequent looks of consternation when I bring stats up. Yeah, a lot of people get visibly angry when you present them with data. Visibly angry. Let me say thank you to Evenman27 for subscribing with Twitch Prime and Trevor Delker for subscribing on Twitch, as well as JavaFox98, Super Dodgeball, Optimus13371, and Max Punches for subscribing on Twitch as well. And Ozsoib. Not sure how, that's a lot of consonants there. That is a hell of a lot of consonants. Let me say thank you and welcome to Travis Venice. Travis is new member number 35 tonight. Juan Canawi is new member number 36 tonight, or is it Canawi? I'm not sure, but it's definitely Juan. Also want to say thanks to Kevin Booker, who is new member number 37 tonight, as we are just 3 minutes from polls closing in South Carolina. Clever to Swear says, can you please do a drum cover of Old Town Road? Let me think about that. I'm going to put that under advisement and see what we can come up with there. If you are joining us on YouTube, with total humility, I ask you to hit the like and subscribe button. Because you have done that, the stream has been pretty steady with around 5,000 people watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. It's free. It costs you nothing. And if you are refusing to hit like and subscribe on YouTube, tell me why in the chat. I want to know why people are going to refuse to do like and subscribe, because to me it seems that it's a no-brainer. I would just do it. So let me know in the chat why you would not be willing to do that, as we are just minutes now, potentially, from the first results. Because I don't like you, David. Okay, that's actually fair. That's a fair reason not to do it. Someone says David only reads super chats, people. He's not acknowledging your comments, let alone responding to them. Well, that was not a super chat, Miss Nene. I saw that. That's for sure. Fascinating. People saying they don't want to subscribe because they don't want to get too many videos in their feed. Easy solution. You subscribe and then turn off notifications for this channel. Very, very easy. Logic 101 said, oh no, hold on. Michael Greenfield. Let me see. Who did I miss? Paratiran, what kind of voting system do they use in South Carolina? Paper or digital? I don't know the answer to that. Very good question. Experience Music. If you had to bet on 3 people to be Bernie's VP pick, who would you pick? As I said a bunch of times, I'm not doing VP stuff yet. I think it's a distraction and possibly divisive. Jose Rodriguez is a new member. Logic 101. If Bernie names Stacey Abrams tomorrow, he won't lose another state. I don't know about that. Another user whose username is a face drawn with punctuation. Do the results of South Carolina even matter? I get it's a good indication for who's going to pull ahead, but isn't everything basically decided on Super Tuesday? The results tonight could influence results on Super Tuesday. So in that sense, it does matter. Let's see. We are very close to maybe getting some results. John Cusack, how do you enjoy your coffee if you drink it? I basically I'm 99% on espresso-based drinks. I'm basically off what I would call drip or filter coffee. And cappuccino is my preferred drink in the morning, cortado or an espresso in the afternoon. That's where I'm at. Christian Cosma, hello from Romania. Keep it up, David. Thank you and welcome. I appreciate that. Very, very much appreciate that. Let's say thank you to a couple of other people who have grabbed some memberships. Let's see if I can do the correct pronunciations here. Lenith Albanese is new member number 38. Luis Aponte is new member number 39. Chase Corvo is new member number 40. Nabil Kavari is new member number 41. And Daniel Rabkin is new member number 42. Very close, 42 out of 50 new members there, as we are now awaiting live results. Let's see what we got.
From the Carolina Ale House in Charleston, we begin with an update on today's race. CBS News projects Joe Biden will win the South Carolina Democratic primary based on exit polls. But until then, I want to welcome our panel, Caitlin Huey-Burns, Leslie Sanchez, and Linda Tran.
So the projection we've already got.
Caitlin is a CBSN political reporter. Leslie is a CBS News political analyst and Republican strategist.
Yep.
Linda is a CBS News.
Let's see if ABC is also calling it. I'm guessing they will.
This is an ABC News election update. Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
Good evening. We are coming on the air now with breaking news in the race for the White House. ABC News projects that Joe Biden will win today's Democratic primary in the state of South Carolina. It's his first win of the 2020 campaign after lagging behind in Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada.
So what this tells us is that the win is so overwhelming based on the exit polls that even if the exit polls were statistically more off than they've ever been, we would still see Joe Biden win. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden winning. It is going to be a fight now for the delegates going in. It looked like Joe Biden was roughly polling around 39%. He may even end up with more. He may end up with less. We don't know. But it is a win for Joe Biden. If you are joining us, we have the results. We have the numbers. Joe Biden's first win And that appears to be so overwhelming a win that they are ready to call it now. An incredible turn of events. Not really. It was exactly what we were expecting. And a whole bunch of people seemingly fired up by it, and they are grabbing memberships. Eddie Estevez Aquino is new member number 43. Eric Yeager is new member number 44. Thanks to both of you. And the big news, Joe Biden, the winner tonight, called basically everywhere already. The only question is delegates. Is it only Bernie and Joe who get delegates? And by what margin does Joe Biden win? Clever to Swear asks, David, can I have your hairline? I would gladly give it to you if I could. Jorge Martinez, what states can Joe Biden do well in? Just curious. We're going to look at that on Monday. Charles Barsh is a new YouTube member. Nick Holcomb, how did your Joe Rogan appearance affect your channel? Got about 8,000 new subscribers. Dusty Dark Horse, Vermin Supreme for vice president. Max Schwenke has signed up on YouTube. Shell, is preferential voting used in any primaries? If you mean ranked choice, Maine has ranked choice, and there might be one or two other states. Experience Music, why is there anything rather than nothing? As a fellow drummer, do you enjoy Tool? I'm not a big Tool fan. And I don't know why there is anything rather than nothing. One of the mysteries of our time. Comic Kate has grabbed a YouTube subscription. Angeline Siebel or Seibel, I'm in South Carolina. Machine voting with paper backup. Mike Leitner, CBS calls it for Biden. Sam Kinyon, any tips on how to have a productive or civil conversation with ultra-conservatives that seem to live in their own reality? Yes, don't talk about politics. Mike Leitner, Biden wins his first star in almost 40 years. Luke, why are you parroting lamestream news? The results aren't in at all. Love your show. The exit polls are clearly so overwhelming that Joe Biden won. They're not all going to get this wrong. Ricky Williams, greatest of all time, MTV Unplugged, Nirvana or Alice in Chains? Nirvana. I'm not an Alice in Chains guy. And I apologize to everybody who's furious with me because of that, but I just have never been. Susie Harrison is new member number 45 today, and I very much appreciate that. Joe Biden has won the South Carolina primary. On that note, as I mentioned, I do have plans starting in a half hour, so that does it for me tonight. Full coverage on Monday and plenty of other streams to watch until midnight. But the results, we know. Joe Biden winning in South Carolina.